Hi, party people. It's me again. It's a lot later today than I anticipated. Convocation ran over, so this video is going to be up a little later. So I'm sorry about the lateness, but I'll do the best I can. So what you guys are doing today, so yesterday, as you know, or as I hope you know, you went to Canvas and you read the short story and you analyzed it and you made annotations for it. So what you're doing today is you're going to start rough drafting, outlining what your essay will be about. So what that looks like, I'm actually going to take you through here a little bit so that we're able to do it together. And that way you have a little bit of an example to help you. It's actually quite good that I'm recording this because that way you can stop it, you can make notes, you can rewind it, you can do all of those things. So let's look at modules, please. So modules, we're going to go to week 5. And then when we go to week 5, I love that little lobster, crawfish, whatever. Anyway, when you go to week 5, what you're looking at, you're going to do this warm up. The warm up asks you to name the theme of your short story. So if you read it, what's the theme? If you'll notice, the theme that I put there for an example is from the Three Little Pigs. So the Three Little Pigs is a story. It's a children's story. It's a good example to use, but it's a children's story, and it's the theme of it, the general message the author provides is it's important to build things, homes, relationships, etc., on a strong foundation. That's the lesson that the author wants to teach. Every single literary analysis should be focusing on a theme. If you don't have a theme, you need to figure out one. That's kind of a key part of a literary analysis. So what you're going to do with a literary analysis is you are going to figure out what the theme of the short story is, and then how does the author relay that theme. That could be diddles. What I'm looking at there is that could be through his diction, that could be through his imagery, details, language, syntax. So any of those things contribute to theme. So everything goes back to that theme, okay? So let's go back to the page. So after you figure out what your theme is, then I have a graphic organizer here. This graphic organizer is very, I was going to say powerful, but that's not a great word to you. It's excellent. It's a really good one. It's kind of wordy, but it's really good, especially if you don't feel super confident um, in writing literary analysis. So if we look at it, it's kind of long. I don't have, the only one I have is a PDF. I don't have it in a Word document, so I can't send it that way. But if you look at it, it gives you this overall essay planner. It has an introduction, it has a conclusion, it has the 3 paragraphs. What are the 3 things you're going to be talking about? These should all be relating back to this claim. The claim is the theme. You're trying to prove what the author's message is. That's your theme. That's your thesis. All right, so your thesis should introduce ways that the author does that. We're going to look at that in just a second. So paragraph 1 would focus on one way, another way, another way. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to take part of that analysis that you did, that diddles, and you're going to pick one of them for this paragraph, one from this paragraph, and one for this paragraph. So I'll talk about that in just a second when I start to do the example. Hold on, let me pause you. Instructional. So what that means is, here's your intro paragraph. We're going to talk about that. That's great to use, by the way. What I want you to be turning in today is part of one of the body paragraphs. Whoa, I went too fast. One of these body paragraphs. I want you to be focusing on this to try to figure out, just to make sure you're on the right track. That way I can look at it. Okay. So you'll notice on these body paragraphs, let me make this bigger. So you'll notice on these body paragraphs, the body paragraphs ask you to use 2 quotes. What are you focusing on? What's a quote that proves it? Another quote that proves it. It's really simple. Then you have 2 sentences of commentary, and then you close it up. All right, so it's not super duper hard. It's just trying to figure out what those things are going to be. All right, so how I want to do this to make it the most feasible is I'm going to write a sample one and I'm going to write it with you. And with you, I mean, I'm going to literally type it up as I'm talking. So I'm going to go back to the 3 Little Pigs, and I'm going to type up a paragraph for that one. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's see. Well, and you know what? Maybe this will help you on a lot of different scales. I'm actually going to put it into, I'm going to make it double spaced. So double spaced, it's Times New Roman. Good. All right. So if I am going to type this up, I'll put my header. I've got to spell my name right. So Erica Negrelli. Weirdly enough, I'm just going to put Professor Negrelli. This is English 1301, and today's date is August, what is today? Oh, look at that, 9th. All right, so I'm going to put here body paragraph. All right, I'm actually going to do this, and then I'm going to write the body. So here's my body paragraph, but you can't write a body paragraph unless you have a thesis statement. So it's very important to have that. So I'm going to make sure I put the thesis statement, and then I'm going to put body paragraph, because this is what I want you to turn in, essentially. Okay, so thinking about 3 Little Pigs. The 3 Little Pigs, I did some research on it beforehand. So pretend like I did research on the 3 Little Pigs yesterday, like you were supposed to do, not research, but how you were supposed to read and analyze your story yesterday. So I went and looked up some stuff about like where the 3 Little Pigs story came from, et cetera, et cetera. It was an English story. They told it in, it was in England. They told it for a while. And then it was a story that they not translated, but they told. It was like folklore. And then a woman named Flora Annie Steele actually put it into words, and they illustrated it. And that was the first time that it was seen in print. So that's something that I learned. It's a classic story. I also reread the story, and I pulled out 3 different things that I think I could use to write an essay about it if I wanted to. So that's kind of what I'm going to look at here. My thesis is going to have a couple of things. It's going to have the author. It's going to have the genre, meaning what kind of story is it. Yours is going to be a short story. The genre, the title of the story, a theme in the story. I'm also going to have forgetting something. Oh, my claims. Kind of an important one. Okay, so here's how I do this. The children's story, 3 Little Pigs, retold by Flora Annie Steele, uses metaphors, personification, and repetition to prove the theme that what was the theme I said? Something had to be built on a solid foundation. I just want to make sure I get the right one. Give me a sec. No, go back here, silly. Go to, no. I want to make sure. Oh, I'll close this. That's what I want to do. I put, it is important to build things. Okay. So let's go back to the Word document. The theme that it is important to build things on a solid foundation, period. I need to go back and fix a couple of things. I'm going to make this italics because you italicize short or books. You'll put your short stories in quotation marks. I'm going to use metaphors, personification and repetition. And my theme that I'm focusing on is it's important to build things on solid foundation. All right, that looks good to me. So I'm leaving that there. All right, that's kind of what I'm going to go back to. So if you're looking at this and you're like, okay, well, how do I make the paragraphs? Well, this one right here is going to be paragraph 1. This one right here is going to be paragraph 2. Move me out of the way here. We'll make this one paragraph 2, and then this one will be paragraph 3. So you see how that is? Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. My first paragraph is going to be about the metaphors in the story. I'm going to pick 2 of them. Personification, going to pick 2 of them. Repetition, going to pick 2. This is a repetition. And each time I talk about them, I'm going to tie it back to the theme. How does it reinforce the theme? All right, so if I go to the body paragraph, I've got to start with my first topic. So if my first topic is metaphors, I need to focus on that metaphor. So I need to start by saying first, it's always nice to transition, some sort of first, firstly, to begin, etc. So first, Steele, that's the author, employs, instead of saying uses, employs several metaphors to help drive home the story's theme. All right, I don't need to repeat it because I literally just said it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look. So now what I need to do here is I need to go in and I need to figure out what metaphor I'm going to talk about. That's going to be pulled from my Diddles page. So I've already done this. I also have the story pulled up. So I've already looked at this and I figured out what I wanted to use. Maybe I don't want to start with metaphors. What was the one I wanted to look at? It was a metaphor. No, it was personification. That's the quote I wanted to use. Okay, I'm going to go back to this, see how I'm already making, I'm making changes as I go. So I'm going to change this and I'm going to use personification here. Then I'm also going to take this one and change the order here. I'm going to use personification, metaphors. So that way I put it in order and it's parallel. I didn't change it. I just changed the order because I'm going to make my first paragraph here. All right, we'll make sure that makes sense. First, got to insert it. First, Steele employs several instances of personification to help drive home the story's theme. All right, that quote that I had, I'm going to take it here. The wolf danced about with rage. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give a little context in my story. So after the wolf is able to easily blow down the first 2 pigs' houses, he cannot as easily blow down the 3rd pig's home. Because of this frustration, quote, the wolf danced about with rage. Then I need to put a quote. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need it anymore. He cannot blow. I can't seem to spell. Nope, that's. See, I tend to make corrections as I go along. You might not do that, and that's fine. This happened, let's see here, It's like, I don't even know. I'm just going to label it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how I do everything right here. I'm going to go to easybib.com. Because if you got your story from there, then you probably need to figure out how to do this too. All right. Come on, guy. My Wi-Fi is slow today. What are you doing? I already know. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to copy the website here, then do this. Oh. Site. Come on. Was Flora. Oops. Okay. I actually don't know that, so we're going to leave that blank. No, I don't want to do that. I'll view a sponsored message. All right, so while this is showing me the sponsored message, because it won't do anything, it won't print off my stuff unless I see that, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to leave this citation blank for now and then keep going. Okay, let's see. Why is that underlined? Let's check it out. Yeah, let's change that to Canada. It's less wordy. Okay, so first, Steele employs several instances of personification to help drive home the story's theme. After the wolf can easily blow down the first two pigs' houses, he cannot as easily blow down the third pig's home. Because of this frustration, the wolf danced about with rage. So the first thing I want to do when I'm analyzing something is I want to explain how that quote is personification. That's the question I'm answering. How is it personification? So I'm going to say, Steele chooses the words danced to show the wolf's extreme anger. He is frustrated that he cannot blow down the house as easily as he did at first. The straw house and let's do it this way. The previous houses proved easy to destroy, yet the brick house causes him issues, leading to his utter, I don't want to say frustration again, utter, do it this way. See if I can synonyms. To his utter defeat. Nice. To his utter defeat. Okay. Okay, so I've explained here. What I've done is the wolf danced about with rage. The idea is she chooses words and language to show the extreme anger, but I need to focus in on how it's personification. So extreme angered, yet a wolf cannot dance. Therefore, this word choice is personification. Then I explain more about why he's so frustrated. He's frustrated he can't blow down the house as easily as he did at first. The previous house has proved easy to destroy, yet the brick house causes him issues leading to his utter defeat. There we go. All right, so this part right here, I have explained the personification. I've explained the topic sentence. Now what I need to do is I need to connect it back to the theme. This theme right here, it is important for the foundation. So this is what I'm going back to every single time. So here's where I need to go into detail about how this proves that it's important to build things on a solid ground. Therefore, I need to talk about this. So the wolf's defeat allows for the pigs to live safely in their home. While this story is about pigs and wolves and a wolf, the idea Steele presents is that houses on a solid, safe foundation are more likely to prevent catastrophes because the third pig built his house out of solid material. He was rewarded by horse, really? He is rewarded with safety of himself and his family. So now I need to close up my paragraph. So not only does Steele use personification, she also uses metaphors. That leads me to my next paragraph. So look what I've done here. I have an opening sentence here. So if I label this one with a bold, if I label my closing sentence with a bold. All right, so I've opened it and closed it with these two sentences. They're bookends. All right, so in my topic sentence, I say that there's personification and I'm proving a theme. So I've got to do two different things. I've got to show personification and I've got to show the theme. So let's look at how I do that. I'm looking at personification and I make sure to focus back on a theme. All right, let me make sure I've done that. I want to go to yellow first and I want to show how I do that. So I provide the quote, so I'm going to leave that alone. This part right here talks about personification. This part right here, the wolf's defeat allows for the pigs to live safely in their home. While the story is about pigs and a wolf, the idea Steele presents is that the houses on a solid, safe foundation are more likely to prevent catastrophe because the third pig built his house on a solid material. He's rewarded with safety of himself and his family. That is talking about the theme. So I've got my own commentary about the personification, my own commentary about the theme. The only thing else that is added here that is important is evidence from the story. It's right there. The wolf danced about with rage. I pulled that from the story. So I open it, I provide a quote, explain the quote, then I explain the theme, then I close it up. So I will do that again with a second body paragraph. But if I look back at my theme or my thesis, I've already talked about personification. So what's my next body paragraph going to be about? Oh, that's right, metaphors. What's my next body paragraph going to be about? Oh, that's right, repetition. So I've got all three of these that I'm going to be talking about in 3 paragraphs. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So what I need you to do tonight, what I really want you to do tonight is one of 2 things. So you notice how I typed this up in MLA format. I don't expect you, listen to my words, I don't expect you to turn in something to me all highlighted up. I did that to help you see it. So that's there for you to see. Okay. Rewind this, watch it again, see how I came up with it. Do those things to help you write this. Okay. So I've got my thesis here and I've got a body paragraph. All right. I've got those 2 taken care of. So here's what you need to do for me, because I want to start looking at this to make sure you're doing it correctly. I want you to turn in something like this. I want to see a thesis statement. I want to see a body paragraph so that I can give you feedback. I can say you need to find better quotes. I can say you're not talking about you're not pulling in one of the diddles. You're not talking about a theme. So that's what I want to see so that I can look at that tomorrow while I'm sitting in meetings all morning. Okay, so this is very important that you look at this stuff or that you complete this stuff. All right, if you don't want to do it this way, I think it's best to do it this way because you're already putting it on a Word document, and then all you got to do is add more and then submit it tomorrow because your rough draft is due tomorrow. If you don't want to do it that way, you may do it. Hold on, get away. Let's see. Oh, here's my works cited. So I would put steel. I should have known that. So in my quote here, I'm going to put stop. Stop it. I put steel. You'll do the same depending on your author. Your author's last name will go there. I don't know why I didn't remember that. Sometimes I'm crazy. Okay, so let's see. If you don't want to turn in the paragraph because you're like, oh, whoa, lady, I am not ready for that. If you don't want to do that, then I am willing to accept, if it will let me go. Come on, internet. There she is. I will accept a sort of outline. And if this will load, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if you prefer instead using this graphic organizer, and completing something that looks like this page, like a topic sentence, quote, commentary, I would be okay with that. So if you want to make it in an outline form in this sense, or even print this off and handwrite on there and then take a picture and upload it, I'd be okay with that. I mean, it's not ideal, but if you wanted to do something like that, I'd be okay with that. I'd prefer a typed out one, but you could do it this way too. So really, I just want to see, what are you talking about? Mainly, I want to see a thesis statement, and I want to see what you're starting with on your body paragraphs. So if you just want to show me a quick outline of that body paragraph, I'd be okay with that too. So that's kind of the goal here. All right. Very important that I get a thesis statement, and also important that I get some form or some start of a body paragraph tonight. All right. So that's what I want you working on today. All right. I'm going to I'm going to save this video, and I'm going to have this ready so that I can upload it. It's already late. If you'll look at the time, it's already 2:02. So, and I have a meeting that I'm 10 minutes late for. So I'm going to go ahead and make all of this work and upload it so that you can watch this and have it ready to go. Again, I'm super sorry about this week. It's rough for me too. So email me if you have any questions. I'm staying after school a little bit today to try to get some of those done. But I think that that's all I've got. Let me know if you have questions and we'll talk soon, okay? Happy writing.